Hello, Oh, I don't know if it started. It hangs for a second. Hi, we're using a new thing today to record the podcast. We even clapped and we didn't have to. It was great. Welcome to the HalfGen podcast. I'm Chris. I'm here again. Joining me, as always, two of my favorite people in the world. Ross, how are you doing?
I'm here. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Nat, my dear friend, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm kind of mad that they got you in a little box. They trying to box you in the corner, man.
Yeah, little
The
baby
fuck is
box.
up,
That's me. I'm in
Zencaster?
the little help. Get me out.
We can't do our finger poke thing anymore.
No.
Oh, boy.
I'm pointing the wrong way. It's this way.
That's like so off on my recording.
Come on.
Just full on dad jokes.
Stop it. That tickles. And joining us for the first time in a long time, you've heard us talk about him. We call him Cypher, but today here, professional environment, because we're professionals, as we've clearly shown. Tony joining us for the first time since kind of the rebooted podcast. Tony, how you doing?
Hey, I'm back.
You're back.
Back again.
Tony has been responsible for doing the video version of the podcast, getting that uploaded, doing any necessary editing. Also made that fancy little intro splash. So all the credit in the world to him for that. And we are happy to have him here today.
Happy
as we
to
talk
work with
about,
you.
oh my God. Nat, are you okay?
I don't even know. Wait, do we still have that like list of things we're going to talk about and stuff?
No, we have like some news stuff on there, but we don't do it like that anymore. We kind of just wing it.
All right.
Yeah. It just works. Why didn't
Why are you shaking your head at me, Ross?
That's the face that everyone who plays against the Knicks made when they saw Frankie Smokes hitting a three.
Actually, got a better one for you. Oh, wait, no.
Here we go.
Now we're under the sea. This plays great on audio. Nat's showing us his lights. Oh,
Boise
he's
State.
rocking the Knicks colors.
You know?
I was about to try to go kill
You
Bill
said
up in here.
Boise State like he wasn't trying to rep the Knicks. Even I knew that. Is that a Critical Role hoodie? I just realized what that was. I've been looking at that symbol.
It is. It's a Critical Role hoodie from the first campaign they did.
I keep telling myself I'm going to watch that, and then I don't.
It's the first campaign's like the first campaign's like 500 hours.
Yeah, I should just put that on for background. Like, that's what I should do.
That's what I do
great.
with Penny Arcade's like campaign, the Acquisitions Incorporated. I put that on for background, like when I'm roasting or something. You'll just listen to them.
Yeah, it's entertaining. It has all your favorite voice actors there.
All of them. All of my favorites. Oh shit.
Yes.
I must. All right. I gotta listen.
I heard you like Laura Bailey. I heard you like Travis Willingham.
I'm a known fan.
Yeah. I heard you like Ashley Johnson.
She's phenomenal.
They're all there.
Some among us might believe the best voice acting in 2020.
It's true.
Others might disagree, but not this guy. I'm not bitter. Who wants to hear a funny story?
Sure.
So before the show, it's early afternoon. I was playing. I guess I got to start this story with a story. You probably can't see the box too well from back there, but I got myself. I don't want to unplug it. I was going to pick it up and show you. I got a Series S. I got my Series S in. This is the controller that came with it, which I like actually quite a bit. I'm kind of a fan of that D-pad. I play around with that a lot. It's pretty good. Little share button here. The one gripe I will have real quick, not as good as the PlayStation. This isn't just to make it like a competition thing. Back-to-back screenshots. You know how like you can rattle off like rapid screenshots with the share button? Mm-hmm. This one, not so much. This one has to process and start uploading the screenshot before you can take another screenshot.
Gotcha.
Two things.
The nice thing is it automatically uploads them to the cloud. So like I can access it from my PC and stuff. So that part I like. But if like two things happen back to back on the PlayStation, I'm like, okay, just take 2 screenshots. I'll sort it out later. Not so much here.
Now it's got 2
disappointing.
things for you.
Now it's got 2 things for me. Okay.
One, the most blaring one here, Zencaster is not keeping up with the quality of your video on my end for whatever reason.
It's recording locally.
No, I'm just saying, like I see on the stream that our quality is looking fine. I'm just saying, like, from my end, your D-pad was just very blurry, and I was like, I can't tell the differences. It's picked up now, but for whatever reason before.
Yeah, you're like in 360p.
Oh, yeah,
but at least
rubber? Is that like D-pad rubber or something?
It looks nice.
It's like the little oval.
Oh, you like those kinds?
Like
so I was very interested in seeing what
you
were talking about.
If you get an Elite controller, you can switch them out.
Damn, I don't want you to switch. And 2, do I jump into my big thing this week? Because they don't know.
They don't know. Let me just finish. I'm going
But
somewhere.
will they ever?
This, okay, we're gonna talk more about my experience with the 1S later. But I'm sitting there playing a
Series
game,
S.
or Series S. God damn it! It's too easy. I knew I was gonna do it at some point. I got this. Okay, Series S. So I'm playing, and I'm actually having a good time. I have a lot to talk about. I want to get into this later. Story time. I'm playing, and all of a sudden, I get a call from my mom. I need your help. I go over to help. Overflowing water. Don't know what happened. It's all clean water.
Toilet?
But yeah, the toilet. It's all clean. But for some reason, like, she's like, I flushed the toilet and then it didn't, like, it went down, but then it didn't come back. So I flushed it again and now it's just coming out. So there's like a centimeter maybe of water just pooling. So we managed to get it to stop. And then I'm like, oh God, okay, we got to get a bunch of towels and something. And she's like, oh, shop vac. We have a shop vac. And I'm like, cool. So now I have to go put together the shop vac while this water is pooling in my poor mother's bathroom. I'm putting together this shop vac, and it actually did a good job once I got everything together. But like, there was just this panic, and I'm just like trying to get this thing together because I'm like, that's all we need is it to soak into the floor and get moldy or something. We'll never get the security deposit back. So I'm sitting there vacuuming up all this water, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I just wanted to play Xbox. But did a good job. And then I got back and I was just like, well, I don't even want to keep playing this right now. I'm good. Let's just get ready for the podcast.
Sidebar, call your boy next time. Your boy's surprisingly good at plumbing. It was probably the plunger in the back of your toilet. It wasn't stopping the water, so water wasn't pooling, and then the balance didn't go up to stop it from water from
See, the thing
out.
is we plunged it still, even though like everything was clean. We plunged it and it eventually did go down. So I don't know what the hell happened, but I will keep you in mind next time.
Yeah, man. Just Discord video me or something. I was going to say FaceTime, but I realized you don't have an iPhone, so we can't FaceTime.
I do not have an iPhone.
That's true.
No, but he has Discord, which you can pretty much do the same thing.
Do you use Google Duo?
Oh, God.
No one does. Spoiler alert.
Is that even still around?
I used it
I was going to
once.
say something, but it was going to be more absurd. I'd use Google Duo before I eat a lock sandwich. So that's
fair. I used Google Duo one time to have other Tony talk to my grandma one day. I don't remember why I did it. I think we were like I was visiting my grandma and he like wanted to play a game or something. And I was like, oh, I can't. I'm in Long Island. And so I duoed him. And it was like my grandma's birthday or something. I don't remember, but I was like, say hi to my grandma. Just because like, fuck it. I was being random. I was like, fuck it. Just say hi to my grandma. I don't know why. It's a dumb thing. That's my whole story with Google Duo.
Okay, perfect.
My 100% experience. Nat, you were going to talk about something. Get me out of here.
I've acquired something that have put me in the air of rare friends.
Mm.
And do you guys know what that is?
I'm aware.
I bought a DualSense controller to play on my PS4.
Bro.
Oh,
raise your controller.
I got one back here. Hello.
Oh
God, no!
Yeah.
Oh boy!
Look at this
And
thing.
before he
Looks like
just
I'm
drops
holding
the
up a
thing.
fucking binder.
You can see the corner of it. Yeah.
Mine's in a different room. But here, if we're gonna hold stuff up, I have these PSP games. Look at these UMDs.
I found some of my UMDs.
Feels good.
Oh, I can lift up my Series S.
Oh, there you go.
God, I wish we still have the PSP.
Look how fucking small this thing is.
So is that thing a vent?
That's a vent.
Okay.
And let me tell you, it gets very hot. It is very hot to the touch.
So would you guys like to hear? I'm sorry.
Yeah, is that like the only airflow it has?
No, there's vents on the side too. Both sides.
So continue about your
would you guys like to hear the eventful experience of me getting a PlayStation 5?
Yes.
So we'll all have to go back, right? And I'm trying to recant this because I low-key was kind of tweeting about it. So we go back Thursday. As you guys know, I work at
Keep going.
I work at a coffee shop, right?
Yep.
Well, I don't work at a coffee shop. I work at a roastery because there's no coffee shop there where I roast coffee for a lot of the East Coast for a said company that shall not be named. And
He's a very big deal.
And they don't pay me enough to be a big deal. But yeah, I'm roasting coffee and I'm on Twitter, as you do in the workday. And I look and I feel like I bring him up every podcast now, but my good pal, Neo GameSpark, tweeted that he got his like 5th or 6th PlayStation 5. And I was like, you should be a pal and sell that to me, joking around. And he DM'd me on Twitter, and there was a bunch of people offering to buy it off him for like $600-$700. And he said, yo, do you want it? If you want it, it's yours. Just come pick it up. And I was like, word. And I looked at my bank account and I had the money and I was like, word. So I made the irresponsible decision to buy a PS5, even though there's not really any games I want to play on it.
It's okay. We've all done it.
I now own one because I couldn't not be in the club with my boys.
And now we play
have to
2K
play
together.
all the PS5 games now.
Play 2K, and better yet, I plan on starting Ghost of Tsushima, not finishing Ghost of Tsushima this weekend. Hopefully, getting at least far enough where I can hop on the multiplayer.
Yes.
So yeah, we should get on that, guys. But that's not the crazy part. So my friend Neo GameSpark lives in a land beyond the Bronx, and if you're from Far Rockaway and you know anything about New York City. Anything above coming from Far Rockaway, there's far in the name. So let's get that off the rip. It's far from everything. To go to the Bronx, which is far, but now past the Bronx is even farther. So I met my friend Neo GameSpark at Pelham Parkway Target, where he picked up the PS5, and he graciously sold to me for retail because that's how good of a guy my guy is. And second thing, my guy is way too tall, like too tall. Like at that point, like what are you doing at 6'4" if you don't got a basketball in your hand?
You're selling PS5s to your
Neo
friends.
GameSpark is too tall. He's like, you're tall too. I'm like, that doesn't really mean much from you being 6'4".
Yeah, I'm not 6'4", but I was definitely everyone pushed me to basketball. I'm like maybe 6'3" with shoes. So
you're too tall. Get short. You're too tall.
No.
I'm not here for it anymore. You tall.
His wife probably says the
Meanwhile,
same thing.
I'm 6, like 6 feet and a half, 6'1", and I'm talking shit because you're 2 feet 2 inches taller than me.
Yeah, it's not like you're like 5'5" or something.
I'm over here 5'9", just being like, "Can I borrow some of that?"
All 9 people will just be over here.
How tall are you, Tony?
5'9".
You're both 5'9".
Hey!
Both
We
5'9" people sitting over here with our 5'9"ness.
I need a plan to hang out with Will or Jem one of these days. I bet Will is pretty tall.
He is not.
He's not.
You seen the video? So? I think the video we've seen of him.
He's probably a similar height to me. Maybe a little bit
probably
taller.
similar to him.
Maybe like 5'10", 5'11".
Who's the tallest in the group?
You.
Probably Uber. Uber's
tall
a giant.
is Uber?
Oh, I guess that does make sense.
I think
Uber taller than you?
I think
I feel like he would know if Uber was taller.
I'm tracking this right now.
You're
the tallest person, Ross. You're the tallest person.
Yep.
We'll have to find time to meet Uber again and
call
check
me the
our
white
math.
mamba.
Or we just go after.
But yeah, so sidebar, I go all the way up to Pelham Parkway, and now people see my friend. My friend is super nice, talking to people, tell people how to get their PS5. He's a man of the people. I'm like, yo, they gonna jump us out here. We in the Bronx. Let's get to the car. And he's like, you want to hold the PS5? I was like, nah, you taller than me. They might try me. They not gonna try you. You 6'4". So he walks me to my car, gives me the PS5. I'd already Venmo'd him the money. So I get in the car, I slide a laundry bag over it because, I'm like, I don't want to get caught lacking. I don't need people. If you use the Citizen app in New York City, you'd see there have been several reports of people breaking in people's houses and holding people up at gunpoint for PS5. So they don't want that to be me. Nobody's going to see me walking in the house with the PS5 box. And that's why the box is in the back corner. If you look carefully, you could see it over there. And I'm not throwing that out for at least a couple months because I don't want nobody to break in my house because that guy has a PS5.
And that's just the difference of where we live, because I put my Series S in my car and I stopped to get gas and it's just sitting in my passenger seat, and I thought about it. I was like, should I hide that? I was like, fuck it. Walk into the store, buy a drink, come out. I'm like, yeah, it's still there. Whatever, let's go.
Amen. but okay, so next I get in the car and I need to pee. So I go to my friend Raymond's house who lives in the Bronx. And I'm like, hey, man, sit in the car for me real quick. The PlayStation's in the back. I need to go use your I go upstairs to the bathroom. He's like, I don't have my license, man. I can't sit in your car. Fucking New Yorkers don't got a license. I was like, God damn it. So I get out and I get the PS5. I hold it in my hand. I run in his building. I'm double parked in front of his building. I go use the bathroom. They had a very enticing afternoon of products and food. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to chill. I got to go home. I got work in the morning. Mind this, I have to get up to go to work at like 3 a.m. And we're already at like 7 o'clock. I'm kind of pushing it. So now I'm driving back home. I make it past all this stuff. Like, it's a long driveway. I got to go on like 3 different highways to get home. And now I'm on Nassau Expressway coming in off our Rockaway. And I call my friend Tuck because he lives in like the town over. And I'm like, my other podcast co-host. And I'm like, hey, man, what are you doing? Come outside. I'll come show you. I'll show you. Like, I didn't want to surprise the PS5. But then I'm driving down, and in the left lane, there's a fucking truck, like trying to tow another car, but none of the cars have on lights. The truck, so I almost hit this truck like a GTA 5 ramp because you couldn't see it. I almost hit it like a ramp. You ever play video gamers that are like ramp trucks? Like that's what it was. I almost hit this shit. So I swerve into the next lane. I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck? I'm cursing, yelling at my friend Tuck. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is happening out here? Then right after that, maybe 20 feet in front of me, there's an 18-wheeler merging into the right lane, but there's a truck in that right lane. It's a Tacoma, and the Tacoma swerves off and it's in the grass, like jumping up and down. Boom, 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 boom. This is right behind JFK Airport, by the way. And I'm like, holy shit. So this guy's yelling. I'm like, what the fuck? Me and this Prius is in, because the 3-lane road are now a little in front, taking it slow because we're like, what the fuck is happening there? And then not even 2 seconds later, 2 BMWs come blitzkrieg style, swings by, like kind of side swipes the Prius and cuts in front of me. And then the other one comes back, see him, cuts right in front of me, and they go by. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So I finally catch a breath for like a minute, and an undercover cop, like a Ford Taurus or some shit, comes flying by, cuts right back through in the same gap those two guys was doing. And then he cut across, and there was a bus in front of us now because we caught up behind this bus, and then he cut into the other lane and almost got hit by the Tacoma that ran off the road. The Tacoma's back on the road now, and so he swerves back in front of the bus, and a Ram truck almost destroys this police car. I guess he was chasing after the guy street racing in the BMWs. This all in the span of 5 minutes, and I'm like, they don't want me to shine. They don't want me to go home again with my PS5 because I'm like, yo, if I crash and die. You know what's fucked up? My mom won't even have the $500 to bury me because the EMTs are going to steal the PS5 out the car. They're going to be like, what PS5? So that was my evening trying to get my PS5.
Wow. It may be the best story that's ever been told on the podcast.
So, yeah.
Almost put into like some Final Destination shit.
There was other like little traffic
Death
stuff
was
that I was
coming for you.
With. But that 5-minute span was like, holy shit.
And that was death. Many attempts to kill you for that PS5.
God. Oh, that was really good.
If it was midnight, it might make more sense, but it wasn't. It was like 8 o'clock. The speed limit on that road is 50, and I think I was doing 70, and all those other cars were going faster than me.
Got it. I always forget that every other state usually has pretty low speed limits on.
Yeah, Texas is like
highways.
85 on the main highway.
Ours is 70 on the main highway, but
Yeah.
I'll be going like 80 or
This
something.
isn't a highway. This is an expressway.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be going that fast on that highway.
Well, neither should you.
I'm going 70.
That's still 20 over. I'm not saying.
What
you know,
I'm saying
listen,
is,
I
yes,
do it
if
too,
we're gonna be
but
all speeding, right? We're gonna be all speeding.
if
cool.
everybody's doing it, then nobody's doing it.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Is I was going
No,
70
that's
because
what
I
I'm
was
saying.
trying to
If
get
everybody's
past the
doing it, no one is.
18-wheeler that just ran the fucking Tacoma off the road. I didn't want to be keeping traffic with the truck driver who clearly can't see his blind spot. So, you speed up to get past it. And I didn't expect to be blitzkrieged by two BMWs, one with a Toys for Tots wrap on the outside like he wasn't trying to kill somebody's family.
Oh my god!
You know what's fucked up? I've seen that BMW parked like around here. He either knows somebody around here or doesn't live too far, like a block or two away from me. I was like, if that guy would have crashed into me and killed me, I'm like, I know where you live. I will fucking haunt you.
Nah, your soul will be attached to that PS5 and haunt whoever has it.
Yeah. You immediately give that yellow light of death on that PS5.
Your essence will be in that PS5.
Nah, man.
Oh.
I know I was safe though because I haven't beat
Somebody's-
Kingdom Hearts 3 yet.
And thus begins the story of the cursed PS5.
I just want to imagine the PS5, like somebody boots it up and he just like, yo, this ain't your PS5. Send it
Here's
to
the
this
thing is,
address and don't ask
Problem is,
any
I
questions.
don't even want the like. I don't want to say I don't want it, but I could care less if I have it. If on the way home somebody would have offered me more money than I paid for it, I probably would have sold it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh God, my face hurts from laughing.
But yeah, so that was my PS5 story, guys.
Oh.
Shouts out to my guy Neo Game Spark or Chris.
You forget that the PS5. You almost forget that the PS5 was a part of that story.
That could have been a Wednesday afternoon. I wouldn't.
A day in the life of Nat.
Oh God.
That's crazy, man. I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
Oh.
Nat's gonna write a book someday, and this is gonna be the chapter. It's just gonna be the moral of the story. Don't ever finish Kingdom Hearts 3.
I still haven't.
No,
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Don't beat Kingdom Hearts 3. Have a wonderful evening.
God, I remember I bought that. I played like 10 minutes of it and haven't touched it since.
I played a good bit of it, and I was in denial. And I got to a world that I should like, and I was like, this is still not fun. I'm done. I got to the Monsters Inc. world, and I was like, I like this world. Like, I like this world. I hate this game.
Yeah,
I feel like I
got
was having delusions before, you know what I mean? Hercules, some nostalgia. I was like, okay. And then he was doing the Tangled or whatever, and there was like something else world before then. And it was Toy Story before then. And I was like, I like Toy Story, like, okay. Like, I can see how this might be like not the greatest way to pull off this story, right? You know what I mean? I gave them some grace. But when we got to Monsters Inc., I was like, this should be it. Like this should just be good. This should just work. And I was like, no, this is not doing it for me. Then I put it down and never played it again.
And there's not a single Final Fantasy character in that game, which is also funny.
Really?
From where it's nope,
And
it's
all
just
computer animated movies.
nope, it's just Disney characters, and then the anime characters they created for like the villains, like the Organization 13 or whatever.
Everybody
Yeah, there's no
just-
Final Fantasy characters in Kingdom Hearts 3.
In my head canon, the game stops at 360. Oh no, it actually stops at Birth by Sleep. That's the last
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts game in my head canon.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's fair.
Oh, man.
Well, who wants to follow that up? Do we want to talk about what we've been playing, or do we want to talk about this Xbox?
mean, I've been playing 2K. That's really it.
That's fair. That's fair.
I got complaints. If you guys want to hear another rant about something, I
Oh
can
yeah,
rant for a while.
yes.
This is just going to be your podcast.
I'll let you guys
Go
talk,
for it.
and I'll come back with the rant because I have
No,
some.
no,
hot
no, no,
2K.
no.
Let me rest
hit
my
us with
voice
the-
for a little bit.
Oh my God! You just
We got-
asked if you
we gotta
wanted
take
you
a
to do it,
breather.
and then you're like, "Yo, give me some time to breathe." Do you want
I
me
was
to
gonna
do this?
do it,
Yes,
but
I'm
I
not
need.
doing it.
I realize I need a break so I can be at my full power for that 2K story.
talk about
Man,
the Xbox.
2K is some bullshit.
Talk about the Xbox. Okay. So listen, Series S, obviously the weaker of the two consoles, but so far I have zero complaints. I have it hooked up to my 4K TV, same one I'm playing like my PS5 on. I haven't had any complaints. I haven't played like a ton of anything, but I've played a lot of like or I've played a little bit of a lot of things. I played Geometry Wars 2, which is one of the big motivating factors as to why I bought this, because I just wanted to play Geometry Wars 2.
You bought it specifically for that system seller.
That was the thing that got me deciding that maybe the Series S would be okay. I just wanted to play Geometry Wars 2, and I played like, huh?
No, I just realized, Ross, are you in your living room?
No, this is the same room, but we got a sectional in the living room, so we moved some furniture around. So my desk used to be this way. I was facing this way.
Okay.
And now we moved the desk onto this wall. So now
I like this angle better.
Same room,
Yeah,
different.
I was just
I like-
confused because I seen the bike and I knew the bike was in the background before, but I was like, there's something off about this. I was like, what the fuck? And I was very confused. And I was like, yeah, are we in a different Ross room right now?
I want Ross to put like different like little doodads back there and just like imply that like HalfGen's buying IGN, you know?
So see, this is I'm actually Sandwich.
Oh shit.
Ross wanted
Nobody
to
gets that but us.
Yep.
That's where he's been.
But yeah, I played Geometry Wars 2.
Oh my bad.
That
That'd be an elaborate sketch if you've never really met Ross or you've never really seen Ross. Even at his wedding, it was really Sandwich the whole time.
We'd never know.
I actually have an identical twin, and it's Sandwich.
It'd be even funnier if y'all don't look anything alike.
We're fraternal twins.
You thought y'all knew him.
They don't really look alike, but like you could make an argument, I guess.
I've never actually seen Sandwich before.
I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting.
He's a bit younger than you, so like it'd be tough to be twins.
Yeah. Is he tall?
I mean, as long as he's
I think he
tall
is
as
tall.
him.
I think he's tall.
You need to get in touch with him to see how tall he is, so we can parent trap this for this podcast. Parent trap this podcast.
The Parent Trap Sandwich. Okay. Geometry Wars 2.
Yes.
Still really good. Actually runs extremely well on the Series S backwards compatibility. Very happy with that. I also played... I played a 360. I know I played something else. I can't remember now.
Lost Odyssey.
No, not yet. I did play the Outriders demo on it because I wanted to kind of see how that ran. And even though I think that version is locked at 30 FPS, I actually had no real complaints about it. Played perfectly fine. I might actually reinstall that demo on PC and give it another shot before I have any final opinions on it. I really hate the writing, but I don't know. That game might be fun enough. I don't know. It was fine on the console. I have no complaints.
I think it was just the class you were playing. That's why you were dissatisfied.
I did play the class you played, and that
Fun,
I didn't.
Right?
I didn't really notice any difference in that regard. I might actually reinstall that if you want to give it another try, Tony. Maybe we try again.
Do I?
And see how it goes. I don't know. That's gonna be weird to explain to Green Man Gaming of like me refunding a game, and then if I buy it again, they're just gonna be like, "Hey, so the fuck," and I'm gonna be like, "Listen,
Yeah.
I can explain."
Did you
Things
say
happened.
did you say you didn't like the content of the game? Playing it on PC wouldn't necessarily make a difference.
I
it's the
I
same
skipped
content?
a lot of the cutscenes this time, and enjoyed it a lot more.
Fair enough.
Yeah, the only problem was the bad writing and the bad acting. It was.
I will say the male character had a much less irritating voice actor than the female character I played the first time.
That might.
I
be
don't know
too,
what it
'cause
is. His delivery of the lines was a little bit better and a little less irritating, because usually like by default I'll try and play like a female character. I don't know why, it's just what I do. And I just did not like whatever she was doing. It just did not sound good to me. But the guy was better, and I'm not trying to make that into anything. It's just that was my opinion, is that I like the voice acting better from the male protagonist. And then I played the medium, which I've had installed on my PC for
nice.
weeks, and
Yeah.
finally decided, well, let's see how a built, other than the Outriders demo, let's see what a big first party exclusive looks like on this console. And again, I actually had zero complaints. Other than having a hard time finding one of the objects early on. I played maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'm still pretty early. But I got to see some of like it's kind of cool. So basically, like you're walking around, and kind of just some early plot points here. You're burying like your adoptive father is he owns a funeral home, so you're going through the process of kind of preparing him. You're trying to find his favorite tie clip, and so like you find him and stuff, and you put the tie clip on, and it's supposed to be like a thoughtful, like, oh, I'm gonna miss you, and you slide him away. And then all of a sudden you hear a bunch of rustling upstairs, and you go upstairs, and the character's, her head is ringing, shit like that. And it just splits the screen in half vertically. And you see Marianne, who's the character, in the real world on the left, and you see like the spirit world version on the right. And there's her adoptive father talking to her, like, oh, I can't find this notebook. Where's this notebook? And she's just trying to like talk to him, like, you need to rest. It's time to rest. So like you're seeing him talking, and you're seeing her kind of like walk around the desk to stand next to him. And you don't see her yet on that. And then it all just kind of syncs up. So it's all happening in real time in both scenes. So you're seeing both of them happening at the same time. And, you're talking to him, and you eventually tell him to like get some rest and whatever. And you kind of settle the spirit. And a little later, the way they used it was in a puzzle. So like you're in both worlds, and there's a door blocked in the real world. And it's open in like the spirit world, but you can't physically progress through it. You have to be able to do it in both. So you have to go around, you have to get this power. And then in the spirit world, you like charge this door, and then the door unlocks in the real world. And there's a cool little thing. And the whole time you're seeing like both perspectives as you're kind of walking through the world. And, I think the real world is a little more visually striking than the spirit world, because it's just kind of like a hazy orange and run down. But it was cool. I kind of, so far I'm kind of with the gimmick.
Are you going to continue on?
I am. I'm
Nice.
kind of interested to see what that game is. It's a very like, kind of like Silent Hill style. It's a lot of kind of locked camera angles and stuff. Like it's, you're walking around rooms, and you can kind of look around a little bit, but it's really like, you walk into a room, there's a camera in that room. You walk a certain distance, all of a sudden it's above you, then it pulls behind you, then it pulls in front of you. So it's a lot of fixed camera angle stuff, like those old school kind of horror games. Nothing that's been scary or anything so far. Not even any real like jump scares. It's been a little moody, but that's about it. I wouldn't even go that far. It's really just kind of existed,
atmospheric.
I'll be honest, I'm not really kind of feeling anything from it. I'm just kind of digging the gimmick of how, like, I'm just really liking how they kind of bring both of the worlds together at the same time. And it's like,
say it like it is. You ain't no bitch. You ain't you ain't scared of no game.
That's what I heard. No, listen. You've never seen me play Fear. You've never seen me play Dead Space.
Like, you bring the scare. You the nightmare, not them.
I used to be on an Xbox Live chat with, I remember, was it with you or it was with Derek? And I was walking towards like Alma, and I'm like, Derek, the walls are disappearing. What do I do?
We were both there.
Oh, you were both there.
I vividly
the walls
remember
are disappearing, and I was just like, fuck.
Yeah, it's everyone. If Kritz gets to a certain sub goal, he's gonna play Resident Evil 7 in VR all the way through. So work on
if you get to that next sub goal, you have to play the town in VR.
Play like 10 minutes at a time.
I have Resident Evil 7. I plan to play it because I want to play 8. But yeah, no, like there's nothing like I'm gonna be completely upfront, and this is no
giant witch.
This is no disrespect to the medium. I'm not really feeling what, like, other than the gimmick, there's nothing really there for me right now. But I'm interested.
Kind of what I've heard.
They kind of hooked me on that gimmick a little bit, and I keep calling it a gimmick. That's what it is. But they kind of hooked me on that early enough where I'm like, okay, let's see if they do something cool with this. I'm intrigued enough to see if they do something really interesting with it. Is kind of where I'm at right now. So I'll give it some time. And, it's like I said, it's running great on the console. I know there was some talk of like some performance hiccups early on. I haven't noticed anything, but I'm also early, so maybe it gets a little more intensive later. But yeah, it's cool. And I'm probably going to actually play the whole thing on my Xbox.
Nice.
Yeah, like at this point, why not?
Yeah, kind of the scores I saw with that game, it kind of was all over the place. It reminded me of the first Assassin's Creed game, where some places were giving it a 5 out of 10, and some places were giving it a 9 out of 10. It's interesting. Works for some people.
It's either an instant classic or it's just another game.
Yeah, more or less.
But nice. Yeah, I'm interested, and I'm going to try and see that through either until I finish it or until I just don't care anymore, because that's just kind of where I'm at.
That's fair.
Kind of like where I'm at with Persona 5 Strikers. I don't think I like that game. I'm not vibing with that one. I don't want to I'm not going to run down my whole list. I haven't played a ton. Guess what? I played Destiny. I played Apex,
Shocker.
I haven't played Persona 5 since the last podcast.
Yeah.
Persona 5 Strikers. I'm just not really. I honestly considered refunding it, but I have 2.1 hours. So I am going to play it again, but yeah, I'm not.
Is it the Muso style, or just like what's not appealing?
It's their Muso style, because it's still encounters like Persona 5. So you go into a battle, which is the Mosu encounter, and then you're done and you keep moving. So it's like you go in, you kill like a couple dozen dudes and you're done, or like 100 dudes or whatever. And it's like, I just want to go and kill 2,000 people on the screen, like Fire Emblem Warriors. We had a good time playing that, Ross, me and you. And we went around just like, okay, let's just let it keep spawning enemies and just keep killing shit. And that's fun. That's what I want to do, is like the mindless action. And this game is a little too much of like, hey, you still got to balance all the personas, you got to have the elemental differences and stuff like that. You got to figure out your combos. So it's still involved in the same ways that like Persona 5's combat is. It's just less fun because it is more you're managing now. And so it becomes a little less fun in both regards. The combat is less fun because you have to do more with it. And then the Mosu combat is less fun because you have to play it more like a JRPG.
Yeah, I heard it's more Persona 5 than you might think going into it. So that kind of falls in line with that in terms of just gameplay style not being a straight up kind of Muso game. So that's interesting.
A little better as you progress through. So I'm gonna try and give it more. I don't listen. Last thing I want to do is spend $60 on a game and then not play it anymore.
Right.
Talking about Hitman 3, I still need to finish that. No, I'm not doing that. I'm checking your list before Game of the Year this year.
What do you mean checking my list?
I don't know. I'm messing with you.
I told y'all for mad long. I ain't really played games in the past 3 years. I just started playing games again.
Good. I hope you enjoy them.
Hey, man, I'm not enjoying 2K.
I hope they are good to you. Yeah. Are you ready? Do you want to throw down on 2K?
Because that's the only thing I have to talk about.
It's just a matter of if Ross or Tony want to go first, but
I feel like Nat should get it out of his system.
2K.
Yeah, throw down on 2K.
Such fucking bullshit.
Big surprise there.
It's not for the reasons you think. Even the pay to win aspect of it, I'm not even mad at, because if I like a game enough, I'll pay for convenience. But 2K is such bullshit. So I bought 2K for PS5, right? And I'm like, cool, I'm going to play. I tell my friend JP, he has a PS4. He's like, cool, I'm going to buy it. Guess what? PS4 2K and fucking PS5 2K, two completely different games.
Yep.
There's no cross-play with them at all. And not only that, but why isn't it's fucking 2021? Why isn't a game like 2K have cross-play? Not only with previous gen, but like with Xbox and PC. It doesn't fucking make sense. And the next thing,
because they can make more money that way.
But there's two completely fucking different games, and it's so fucking annoying. And there are little differences, like instead of going to the neighborhood, you go to the city in PS5. Like, ooh, no, get that shit the fuck out of here. It's such fucking bullshit, bro. It's so annoying. It looks nice, but the courts and stuff look visually nicer than the players. The players sometimes look like Gumby claymations. especially if they're not a star player. Ross knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah. It's some of them are not great. They didn't get the face scans for everyone. That's for sure.
Not at all. And I made a character. I used the face scan that looked like me, and I got my character to kind of look like me, but he definitely doesn't. It's like this weird, uncanny valley where I'm just like, I'm not comfortable with it, but it's too funny now that I just leave it. And then yeah, like the stats and builds you make stuff makes no sense. There's a whole category in the game for close shots that if you're on my player and you put any points in, it's completely useless because being a close shot is already even guarded like a 70% chance for making. So you could essentially spend 100 points of your character's potential build out on this one skill that would literally affect you zero and not putting in other stuff. And like free throws are locked at a 50% chance anyway. Like normally, like even if you hit it perfectly. So the point is like if you put more than 50 points into free throw, it's just a negative because you're automatically debuffed at that. So that's like stats things that are annoying. And then the builds are like I get it. Certain builds aren't going to be able to do certain things, but certain things are so fucking dumb. Like, oh, if your wingspan is too large, so my character is a 6'6" shooting guard built like Kobe or RJ Barrett, but he's like big like Zion because I thought that'd be funny. And like the wingspan, if I make his wingspan be over 6'8", it takes away from his shooting for whatever reason, which I think is backwards. So if he has longer arms, it makes him worse at shooting. Because I was trying to build him just like, that's what I'm trying to say, bro. Like I was trying to build him just like RJ, because RJ I think has like a 7-foot wingspan. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to build him like RJ but fat.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it's such bullshit. The story is bullshit. It's the guy from Never Back Down being your coach. He catches you on a ferry from Dykeman to Newark. There's no fucking ferry from Dykeman to Newark. That doesn't make sense.
Did you get far enough to either go to college or like?
I went to UConn.
Hey, me too.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm in my third year. I'm staying all 4 years.
Are you?
But yeah. Just because mostly because there's a trophy for it, and the other way will be way shorter to do if I would do it again. But yeah, third year, averaging 25 and 5 at small forward. I'm basically a point forward. Mm-hmm. It's fun.
No, but the next thing is characters. The NPCs, at least at this level, they don't understand the fucking game. I try to do a pick and pop because I'm a shooting guard. So I come down the court. My character's big. I set the pick at the top of the key so I can rotate. The point guard either goes left or right, depending on where the pick is. They throw it to me. I can either pitch it to the, because they're going to double team the point driving. So I can either throw it to the center who's in the paint, or I can pop the three. My character's a sharpshooter, a specialist. But they don't half the time they don't take the pick. And my character's post game is so high, so I'm immovable as a pick. Fucking take the pick. It makes no sense.
The AI is not great.
Simulation sports will never be as simulation as we'd like them to be.
Bro, it makes
Madden
no
has
sense.
Taught me it's that lesson tenfold.
Like, I would understand if I was doing like a crazy play, like a mellow jab step, something crazy. Like it's a fucking normal. It's a fucking pick and pop. It's nothing crazy. That's like 40% of the generic plays in the NBA is a pick and pop. Pick and roll, pick and pop. Like what else? Like I really don't know what else they want me to do.
Like, I mean, probably play better.
That is literally how you play better. Whenever you do it, you get your grade up because you literally cover 5 different boards. You cover facilitating, you cover a pick, so you get plus towards your plus minus for that. For a good shot because you're open, and you get the assist on yourself, the pick assist, because you created the pick opportunity for you to get the point.
If we can make Nat's
the AI doesn't fucking know how to fucking recognize it.
If we can make Nat's face right when you said that, just the picture of the podcast for the week, I feel like that would be ideal.
But
no, I feel you. I feel you, man. It's there's so much that they could do to make those games better. They just have no competition, so no drive
Bro,
to
it's
do it.
just like at every choice they chose violence. Like they chose to fuck their fans over at every possible opportunity.
Yeah, because they know their fans will buy it. Because it's not like
Crossplay,
NBA
no.
Live is there.
Microtransactions, no. I booted up my my team or whatever the fuck that shit is called. Because growing up, I was more of a franchise player than I was like my player kind of guy.
Yeah.
It's literally FIFA booster packs, and they make you watch a 10-minute cutscene before you can even touch the game.
Yep.
A 10-minute cutscene. Followed by a mandatory pick one of these bullshit booster packs to start your game out. So I picked the AI pack, even though there was a mellow Denver pack. I didn't pick the mellow one because it was Denver. It was a Knicks mellow, I would have picked it. But it was a Denver mellow, so I picked the AI pack because AI is low-key one of my favorite players. And then it's just this booster packs of cards that were all bullshit. And then, oh man. Of course, guess what coach they gave me in that booster pack? They gave me fucking Brad Stevens.
Decent coach.
Oh, no, they gave me another. They gave me the coach of the Kings as well.
Luke Walton?
Yeah, they gave me Luke Walton. So those are my two options.
Well,
I shut the shit off. I'm not playing this bullshit.
well, I mean, Brad Stevens is okay. Luke Walton is.
They gave me Chauncey Billups, AI, and like a couple other people, which was like, I was like, cool, but it was like, this is some bullshit. I'm not fucking with this at all.
That's fair.
Yeah, 2K
rant.
bullshit. Feel me, Cypher?
Sure. I don't really follow sports at all.
Tell them how you hate them. Tell them how you feel, Cypher.
I hate sports games. Fuck sports games.
Oh god.
Tony, tell us about what you do like to play.
Well, I don't know if I like to play, but I've played Foregone. It just came out Monday,
What is that about?
and it's a 2D platformer action type of deal. Supposedly story driven, but I haven't really gotten much of the story, even though I've played like 2 hours into it so far.
Mm-hmm.
People have said it's like a Metroidvania, but I don't know if I can agree with it, because when you think Metroidvania, you think like you have this multiple branching paths of exploration you can do, but this game is like so linear. It's crazy. Anyway, the combat feels nice, but the platformer is really finicky because it kind of sometimes it relies on you grappling to the platform, and it sometimes doesn't like to do that. It feels like it's Destiny's grappling at this point. Ugh, it's awful. The combat feels nice. It's very fluid, dodging and slicing, but it feels like the game definitely has a favorite weapon. It's called the HalfGen, and it currently has the highest DPS weapon I've seen so far, and all the other weapons just feels mediocre compared to it. And I don't know how I feel about it so far, but I'm 2 hours in. We'll see. It's too late for me to refund it now.
I know that pain. Welcome to the we're too
in it
late
for the
to
long run
refund
now.
portion of the podcast.
But
Tony, I was just gonna say, I don't know if you were gonna bring it up, but we did the other day. We played the Final Fantasy 15 Comrades, the multiplayer mode for that.
yes, that one is actually rather enjoyable. It's crazy I didn't know about this until now, even though it came out in 2016.
Yeah, we were just talking, and he is like, man, I want another like multiplayer game, and we were talking about like I don't remember how we got on the topic.
Uranium brought it up.
Yeah, Uranium brought it up or something, but I don't remember how. And it was just like, hey, what about the Final Fantasy? I was like, yeah, it's like Monster Hunter, but he was like, Final Fantasy. I just see Tony type in chat. Final Fantasy 15 has multiplayer. He's like, I'm installing it right now.
William didn't even know Final Fantasy 15 had multiplayer. Yeah, I was like, oh, you're playing Final Fantasy? Yeah, I'm playing the multiplayer. It has multiplayer.
People forget.
Yeah, I guess
I think
a lot
we
of
were
people
the only two
know.
people playing it.
Yep, we were the only ones playing it because I didn't see any other rooms open. but it was actually rather enjoyable. We should probably play it again at some point.
Yeah.
We need to get more people into it.
It's
We're
just
gonna bring it
basically
back.
like the Final Fantasy 15 combat, but like you go out on missions. So it's kind of like more like a Dauntless maybe, than like a Monster Hunter. But
Gotcha.
it's it's got that Final Fantasy 15 kind of like teleport around type combat. I picked a spellcaster and I have exactly one spell and it's not great. And so
Good
that's
Yeah,
choice.
play a little further, and
that's shit.
like, there are items that you can upgrade your weapons with that would add spells, or
Good,
you
I
can
need 'em.
like level up items that will like inherit a spell. Because I think I have an item that I can get Blizzaga from. So
I need that in my life. I need Blizzaga shurikens. I
I
found a
think
weapon
that's-
I didn't know was in Final Fantasy 15, and I
What?
love it. It's a shuriken, so like it's basically like what Yuffie uses in Final Fantasy 7.
Oh, so it's like Dark Sector.
Yes, so it's Dark Sector, but good.
Two Dark Sector references in one day. The world's coming to.
Speaking of Dark Sector, I mean it's right down there.
yeah, there it is. My God, it's
But
everywhere.
yeah, so like you can actually attack with it from range, which is nice. But then you can also get close and hit like melee strikes and stuff. But it's cool because you stay airborne while you're like you can just keep holding the button and your character will just stay airborne, just throwing it and stuff. It's really fun.
That's cool. Is that
Yeah,
always
get
been in
all
the game? Or did they
Naruto.
just add that
The shuriken or the multiplayer?
shuriken?
I don't know because I definitely want to load up my save file now and see if I can buy one because
Yeah,
I
wonder
will
if
use
it's
that.
a
And I
thing in
feel
the
like I
game.
played it a bunch, but I don't.
I don't remember seeing it.
If not, you can mod it into the game because
Yeah, at this point I
Steam
might
Workshop,
do that.
baby.
Yeah. I should look for a really good one in the Steam Workshop. Oh shit.
I'm wondering if you can see my mods in multiplayer, because you can use mods in multiplayer.
I'm really thinking about playing Final Fantasy 15 again.
You should.
I bet you they have a mod for the Final Fantasy 7 remake cast.
They probably do.
Who should be Tifa? Ignis or Prompto?
I know they have the Aerith uniform.
Gladius.
In
No, he'd be Barrett. Let's be real.
Oh, Prompto would be Barrett.
Oh, of course. That's just like, yeah.
I liked Final Fantasy. I liked that Final Fantasy game up until I got on the boat and I was like, I don't like this anymore.
Yeah, once it kind of goes like all mainline story, it kind of
It's-
loses some of its
It's
charm.
not even that it's not even that. It's like once it goes there, it just hits the gas and keeps going, and it's like and I don't feel like I ever really catch what's happening. It's just like go 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 go, and they go through all these different areas. Like it turns into almost a completely different game. It feels like.
It does. I agree with that. It definitely feels like a different game.
And I like the first game more than the second game that they make you play. Because it feels more like an arena like style game, like Monster Hunter. When you get to the second part, when you have to go around and there's a stupid level in the trees that took me forever, and then you're on a frozen train out of nowhere, and then you're fighting in a destroyed place with machines everywhere for
And then
your
you
love.
crash your car.
Yeah, it was just too much.
I
I
miss
was
not the car.
I like
That's
the
where you
car.
hang out with buds.
Everybody who doesn't
The
like
boys.
that game dislikes the car. 100%.
It's the worst part of Arkham Knight.
It's a game about hanging out with the boys.
See, but I like the car in Arkham Knight.
I like the
That's
car in
why
Arkham Knight. I would love Arkham Knight if it was like 40% less Batmobile.
I like the car. The car works. I like it.
Who wouldn't like the Batmobile? Why don't you like the Batmobile?
I like the
You're
Batmobile, but
being
I don't like.
judged.
I don't like all of the missions with the Batmobile and the stealth sections with the Batmobile.
How could
But
you
they-
Don't
stealth
like
with
to
that
be a
thing?
stealth car?
No,
How do you stealth with a car that large?
very,
Carefully,
stupidly,
you're Batman.
it's dumb.
You just be very quiet and you jump from rooftop to rooftop. You know, it's just,
You heard how loud that thing is?
Hey guys,
that thing's like a V14.
it was Full Sail University calling me, trying to
Oh.
ask if I ever planned on signing up for classes that I inquired about 4 years ago.
Oh.
Well, are you?
No,
Oh. I'm sure they were
Shut
not
down,
happy
Full
about that.
Sail. I remember Full Sail coming into my high school. Ugh.
I remember wanting to go there as a kid because they had all
Yeah.
those commercials. They were like, "You're gonna be a game designer. Just
Yep,
go
that's
to Full
exactly
Sail."
what they
And I
sold
was
me
like,
on.
"I'm gonna be." And then like I learned about it more, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm not gonna. That's not how it works."
I just thought it might have been something weird because I never get calls from a Florida number, and I have family in Florida, so I was like, maybe this is a call I should take, and it
Yeah,
wasn't.
no, fair enough. Tony, do you have anything else you wanted to touch on game wise?
I've started playing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot again. I've picked that back up. I've
That's
gotten through the Frieza saga.
Card game, or is that
No, that's the story one where you just go through
RPG.
like the
okay?
Came out
Yeah.
last year.
What is that on?
PS4, Xbox One, PC.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they do an update for like the new consoles because I have it for PS4 and I want to play it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I've liked it. I got through Frieza. I'm on the Cell
I heard
Android
people talking
saga.
about this. I didn't realize what this was. I might actually have to check this out.
You can
Yeah,
get it
sure,
pretty
it's
inexpensive
nice.
now.
Yeah, if you enjoyed like the story of Dragon Ball Z, you pretty much just go through it.
Like every single Dragon Ball Z video game ever.
Yep, pretty much. Except
But
this
now
one,
it's an RPG.
Yes, now it's RPG.
It's true.
But
Now it's an RPG.
combat doesn't feel like the other Dragon Ball games because you can't just like infinitely combo the computer.
And now it
But-
looks more like the cartoon.
I gotta
Yeah,
ask
it does.
JP if he has it, because if he has it, I'm gonna just bum it off him
There you go.
It's the way to go.
right now.
Yeah,
Anything
I've
else
started playing that. Is there anything else I've started playing? I think that's pretty much what I've been playing so far. Other than, Destiny and stuff.
Now we've got the cream of the crop. The Mr. Not Dr. Orlando.
Great.
Not yet.
Perfect.
Not yet
Yep.
Dr. Orlando.
Soon to be doctor.
Soon to be Dr. Orlando.
Hey, nope, not
He's
true.
going to do it. Whether he likes it or not, he's going to be a doctor.
Destined to be
He
doctor.
has to do it.
Destined to be doctor.
No, don't bring
Orlando.
Destiny into this. Anyway, I've been
Get on to our Destiny portion.
I've been playing just some kind of random stuff. A YouTuber I like was doing a Breath of the Wild playthrough, and that made me want to go back and play some. And
That was a good game.
I put like 8 hours into it over the weekend, just playing through the second DLC pack. And like, I haven't really played it since 2017. And you forget that is obviously one of the best games of all time.
That
But
game
man,
is so fucking good.
that game is one of the best games of all time. I lost myself in it. It's just like the traversal is so addicting. The shrines are like the perfect bite size like puzzle areas. The actual DLC quests are actually pretty cool too. They add more shrines, and I got the motorcycle,
Mhm.
so now I can ride around Hyrule on the Master Cycle, which feels pretty good. And yeah, man, I got into a deep rabbit hole of like, I watched some highlights of like someone did a like amiibo only playthrough where they could only use equipment they got from amiibos and they couldn't pick up anything else. There was one where like they could only wear and use like Sheikah armor and weapons, like challenge runs. And then I got super into like, you know me, Chris. I love lore. And Zelda lore is weird, but it's really fun. To the point where I actually ended up buying Age of Calamity. And I've put about 8 hours into that now, and I'm having a lot of fun with Age of Calamity, actually. Like, I'm not usually a huge Muso fan, but with that game taking place 100 years before Breath of the Wild, you get a lot more screen time with the four champions, who I think were one of the strongest parts of Breath of the Wild. And, like, playing as them is so much fun. It's so much fun. Urbosa is my girl. She'll just, like, she has her scimitar. She'll just slice some people up. You'll use her special. She just summons the lightning. She'll turn around and put her back to the big enemy, and then she'll just raise up her hand and snap. Enemy's gone in the lightning storm. It's so cool. yeah, I've been playing a lot of that, and then yeah, it's been mostly Breath of the Wild and Age of Calamity, and I want to try to give other Zelda games a shot again. I feel like now I'm invested in the franchise, like I wasn't before when I tried to play like Twilight Princess and that kind of stuff. So I'm going back. I
That's cool.
actually
Pass it.
he has it. He has Kakarot. Nice. Get that. I found this and dug it out.
Oh shit.
My new 3DS XL. That
Phoenix Wright.
oh yeah, Phoenix Wright is a mainstay. Best
I miss
franchises of
having
all
a
time.
Best game on there.
DS.
Dude, the Phoenix Wright series has maybe the best music of any series ever.
I got
It's
something.
okay. But like a long time ago when I first got my 3DS, I got Ocarina of Time 3D digitally. So I re-downloaded that and I'm planning on starting that because I feel like I should give that more of a chance than I have in the past with how critically acclaimed that game is. Oh god, Nat's face. Oh hey. Hey.
The other day as well.
Yeah, man. And it's like I found some of my games, not all of my games. I don't know where most of Oshawott, yeah. I don't know where all my DS games are, but like I have Soul Silver, so I'm gonna play that again at some point in the near future.
I'm playing a randomizer of that.
I have Binding of Isaac on here, and I used to play that a bunch on the train.
Yeah.
Problem is, I found this. I don't know where the charger is.
Yeah, it took me a while to
Well,
find a charger, but I
You can
found
get one at like almost any store for cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, USB-C or
Uh,
USB micro. It's everywhere.
No,
No,
that's
it's
not
not
micro.
micro, it's
That's
proprietary.
proprietary.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's-
is
Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
Nintendo didn't fix
Oh
that till
yeah,
the Switch.
those ones.
Yeah, but
it's USB-C.
So-
I would have 20 of them.
Yeah.
yeah, but like I think when the Switch was announced, I think a lot of people kind of had this, myself included, this kind of reaction to the 3DS where you're like, just put it on Switch. Like I don't want to dig my 3DS out anymore, and I
Yeah.
totally felt that. But I play my Switch mostly in handheld anyway, and the screens on the 3DS XL are actually like decent sized, so like it doesn't feel, yeah, it doesn't feel like as big of a difference as I thought it would. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to playing these. I want to beat Age of Calamity first though, but that takes like apparently like 20 or 25 hours to beat. So, but yeah, that's mostly what I've been playing. If I've been playing anything else, oh yeah, I finished Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 after years of meaning to. I finally did, and that is a very, very good game. And if Obsidian would have had the time they should have had to finish development on that game, that could have been one of the best games of all time. But LucasArts wanted to push it out for holiday that year, so the ending is booty booty butt cheeks. Basically, you beat the final boss, and then there's a cutscene of your ship flying off into space, and then credits. That's it. It's abrupt and it's disappointing, but it makes me excited for the potential KOTOR 3 that's in development, or even I would love a remaster of the first two games, to be perfectly honest.
Maybe
But-
with all that content finally added to it.
Yeah,
Maybe you
it's,
finished developing the ending of that game.
yeah,
The
because even
director's
with
cut.
that would be great, dude. Like, because even with the restored content mod on PC, that's like everyone loves. Like, I watched the ending with that mod, and it doesn't add anything to the ending. So, like, I'm not getting a more full ending with that mod, even, which is disappointing. But, so yeah, I finished that finally. I'm actually doing pretty well on my like. I tweeted out like a month or two ago, like just a shot of like a bunch of retro games I wanted to get through this year, and I'm actually doing pretty well on. Popped in 13 on a GameCube for a little bit. Not the they just did the remaster of that on current gen consoles, and apparently it's really bad. So the original version's fun. No frame rate issues or anything. I haven't put a ton of time, just beat the first couple missions, but yeah, right now it's mostly Zelda, and it's like when I played Breath of the Wild, I thought to myself, this must be what people felt like when Ocarina of Time came out, and where they just fell so deeply in love with the game and just loved everything about it. And it's like, maybe now I'm a Zelda fan, and I don't know how that happened. But it's like, I'm super pumped about the Switch remaster of Skyward Sword coming out in June because it won't have motion controls. And it's like the first game in the timeline. Like, it sets up a bunch of story stuff for the entire rest of the series. And it's like, there's like 4 games, and then Ocarina of Time happens. And then, depending on what happens in Ocarina of Time, it splits into 3 different timelines.
Mhm.
And it's like, I love timeline stuff. Man.
The only Zelda game I had before this was like I had like something for Super Nintendo. I can't remember which one, like one of the old school Zelda games.
Mhm.
But only
You
one
might want to lean up a little closer to the mic.
Only one I've had was Wind Waker,
Mm-hmm.
and I had it for GameCube, and then my GameCube broke, so I didn't have much time to play it. But I never had Zelda growing up as a kid because I always feel like Zelda was so expensive. Like, it was so much more expensive than other games, like the Nintendo 64 one and stuff. And then I got this one, so this was like the first one I got like to actually dive into all the way. I bought Wind Waker for Wii U, but I never like really ended up playing it as much as I would have liked to. But after playing Breath of the Wild, I was like, man, I should go back and play all these games. These games are fucking good.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Because like with Switch Online too, you already have access to the first 2 games on NES, and you have access to A Link to the Past, which everyone considers to be like far and away the best 2D Zelda game. And you get those free with Nintendo Online that you can play and you can rewind. So like obviously NES games are generally less forgiving and less user friendly in a lot of ways, just in terms of quality of life stuff. But you can use the rewind feature to go back like 30 seconds at a time, which helps. But
That's how I beat a bucket list game of mine, Double Dragon. I never was able to beat as a kid.
yeah,
But I was like, I'm gonna cheese it with this.
yeah. But yeah, it's like it's weird. Most people, I feel like most Nintendo fans grew up with Nintendo, and so they have a lot of nostalgia for it.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm like this latecomer to Nintendo, and I find myself falling in love with a lot of their IPs now in life rather than early on. It's like, yeah, go ahead.
That's the same.
Oh yeah,
I've had Mario games in the past. Like, I had Mario Sunshine, but I never got to play them the way I would have liked to. So like, I had a bunch of GameCube games, but I knew all the characters, I knew the stories, but I never had that personal connection until recently, where I got into Odyssey, and I was like, holy shit, Odyssey is amazing. Like, I even played Galaxy, and I played a good bit through Galaxy, but it wasn't the same as the way when I played Odyssey. Like, Odyssey, I was like, holy shit, I love this. And Breath of the Wild was like, holy shit, I love this. Like, so like, it was cool. I was like, man, in another universe, I could have just been spending my money on old retro games instead of all these duds that I was buying.
that's kind of what I've been doing recently.
Juiced and Ballers. Remember that? Juiced was the...
Oh yeah,
I remember Juiced.
And Ballers was the 2K thing with Stephon Marbury on the cover.
yep, I remember that. I'm kind of surprised that like I don't have a friend who's like super diehard Nintendo. Like, I never had any of those people around me growing up, which I find weird. I feel like there's at least one everywhere. But yeah, I mean, like, the Switch is one of my favorite consoles of all time. Today, as we record this, it's actually the 4-year anniversary of the Switch release date.
Oh shit!
So shout out. It's one of the best consoles of all time.
You know it's good because I own 2 of them simultaneously.
It's true.
They both perform pretty much the same function.
She bought a regular Switch, and I was contemplating buying her Lite from her so I can have a smaller one to carry around.
Yeah. It's like, if they at some point this year announce like a Switch Pro or whatever they end up calling it, like, it's no hesitation, day one purchase for me.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for them to do that. Just because, like, I don't mean to steal your thunder here, but like the problem for me is just some of those games, even the first party games, are starting to get a little chunky. And so like I'm worried about games like Bayonetta and Metroid and like how they're eventually going to run. And I really just I don't want performance to be the thing that makes me not want to play one of these games, you know?
Yeah, I get that for sure. Because like, I mean, even going like Breath of the Wild had performance issues,
Mhm.
even going back then. So, and games today, I mean, Age of Calamity has performance issues. So, I totally get that, and I think it would be wise for them to do that, to release kind of a higher end console. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just kind of in this completely endless love affair with Nintendo recently about most of their first party stuff. Like I keep a retro games like list of games I want to buy, and like I have Metroid Fusion and Zero Mission on Game Boy Advance because I have the Game Boy Player and I have the Game Boy Player disc for my GameCube, and I just want to play those games because I never did
Hell
back in the
yeah,
day.
you do. They're
And I want to
fucking good.
and I want to play Metroid Prime, which I have and I've started, but I've never actually sat down and played through because it's a perfect game for me because I love games where it makes you feel like completely alone and isolated, like in an environment. Like Journey did that really well. Shadow of the Colossus did that really well. It's like I love feeling like isolated in games and
It
just
takes
like
a Japanese team to do it, man.
Oh man,
The Western
yeah,
games just don't get it.
yeah. With the exception of
I mean,
Journey, yeah.
shit. I beat my first Mario game this year. You know, like
Yeah,
everybody's kind of having a Nintendo renaissance.
yeah. It's just like probably my most anticipated game of the year is, and I don't think it's going to come out this year. It's Breath of the Wild 2
I
because
don't
just
think that's
like
going to come out this year.
I don't think it will either. But like even just the one teaser trailer we've had is fascinating. Like just having a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild, and like at the end of the trailer, like you see Hyrule Castle start to rise out of the ground. And it's like in Skyward Sword, like the town of Skyloft is in the sky. Like, is that going to be a callback to that game? And like, there's a bunch of like Easter eggs and stuff. And man, if you haven't played Breath of the Wild, you really should play Breath of the Wild. It's freaking phenomenal.
I need to finish Breath of the Wild at some point.
That
Yeah.
Zelda
what I need to do.
Encyclopedia. My friend Raymond is that Nintendo.
Oh, the Hyrule Historia.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
has that, and look, just flipping through that, you realize how crazy, because Zelda games are broken up into 3 timelines,
Yeah.
like they explain, and there's like the Toon Link, like the Toon Link type of games were on one timeline, and there's like the original timeline, and then there's this timeline where like Zelda loses and like everything goes crazy, which is super interesting, and it makes me want to go back and play the other ones. But
Yeah, like continuity and connected universes I'm a sucker for. So it's like, yeah, like what you're saying, like it starts off as one timeline and then Ocarina of Time splits it. And then the 3 outcomes or the 3 ways it splits is one, if Link loses to Ganon at the end of Ocarina of Time,
Yeah.
that starts like the downfall timeline, which has a lot of the older games on it. Then there's the timeline of when Zelda sends him back to his original time when he was a little kid in Ocarina and lives out that timeline where it goes Majora's Mask and then Twilight Princess and all that kind of thing. And then there's the timeline where he stays as an adult. And that's like the Wind Waker, like Spirit Tracks, that kind of thing, where Hyrule is basically like falls and is just flooded and all that sort of thing. And it's interesting because like the links, like some of the links are the same throughout some games. Like the link in Zelda 1 and 2 are the same link. And like the link in obviously Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask are the same. But like obviously they're all descendants of one another. Just like Zelda's the descendant of the goddess who like created everything. And like so like the at the beginning of Twilight Princess, in part of the training, like the tutorial mission, you go into like the spirit world to learn like these sword techniques from the skeleton, and he's actually the Link from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, passing on his skills to you. And it's like there's a lot of cool lore that like I'm 99% sure they've only started thinking about lore with Zelda over the past like 7 to 10 years. None of that was intended, I feel like, when they made those games originally. But like, I think there's something to be said about like retroactively building lore around your games and doing it well. And I know a lot of people think the Zelda stuff is convoluted, but I find it like super, super
I
interesting.
don't think it's convoluted, and I don't think they intended for it to be this complex and work out well. I just think they followed like a loose guideline, like, hey, what if we made this? And then they looked back and it was like, holy shit, we could connect X, Y, and Z, you know, and then just made
Yeah.
it line up pretty well, which I thought was super cool that they did it, and they did it in a way where they weren't stepping on their own toes. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of games, Kingdom Hearts, does a lot of stuff where they step on their own toes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And it's like, it's crazy
And
to
that's
think
supposed
like,
to be a cohesive timeline.
yeah. But, and it's
Like,
just crazy.
people just disappear and they never mention them again.
Yeah.
Main
And
story
it's just,
characters too. Like, where's Cloud?
yeah, no one knows.
Wait, he's doing a new game.
Yeah, yeah, he's over
in
in
a
a
new
different
game.
time.
Yeah, he got out of there. All the getting was
but
good.
Where's Titus? Where's everybody else?
No one knows, man. But it's
They care
crazy to
about
think
Final Fantasy
that,
again.
that the Legend of Zelda franchise turns 35 this year. That franchise has been around for almost 40 years. That's crazy. That
Been
is
around
so
longer than I've been alive.
It's been
Same.
around longer than all of us have been alive.
And
Yeah.
I haven't played a single one of them.
And like, Star Breath of the Wild, man.
Breath of the
No.
Wild is probably
Yeah,
should be
Breath of
anybody's
the
first
Wild-
Zelda at this
Breath
point.
of the
A
Wild
Switch
came
Lite.
out on PC. I guarantee you it'd be the biggest game, like, for a while. Like,
100%.
Probably.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Boy,
Sure.
the modding everything. Every time something like comes out of here, I'm like, the modding capabilities.
like Zelda,
yeah.
like Breath of the Wild specifically. That game is already so crazy on its own. If it ran at 60 frames per second in 1080p, like, and people can mess with it, there would be so much shit happening in that game.
Yeah.
I've
Like,
always
the
enjoyed
data
watching
find
speedruns of that
so
game.
much shit we never found out about that game, because that game is just so detailed. Like,
Yeah. People are still finding stuff in that game. Like, people found these ruins that the architecture lines up with Skyloft, the city from Skyward Sword. And like, they're finding skeletons of these leviathans that line up with these creatures from previous games. And like, it's widely like understood at this point that Breath of the Wild takes place like 10,000 years after any of the other Zelda games. Like, no one knows which timeline it's in. A lot of people think it's where the timelines all like meet up again, like way down the line in the future. But it's cool. Chris, do you remember in Breath of the Wild, Impa, the short little woman who gave you in Kakariko Village, who gave you like the quest to find the memories and everything? So in Age of Calamity, you get to play as her when she's young, and she's like this badass ninja who like makes Naruto shadow clones and jumps around and stuff. Like the lore is there if you want it, and it's great. And I'm gonna stop rambling,
I didn't
but
plan on buying that, the Calamity game, but now I might have to. You kind of sold me on it. I'm like, oh,
it's
I
and
love
like
Breath of the Wild.
yeah, and it's like all the characters like play differently, and you just get that more face time with those four champions and kind of see how they were recruited and all that kind of thing. And I'm still super early on, but I've really enjoyed it so far. And yes, of course, there's frame rate issues. It's a Muso game on Switch, so but it hasn't. None of it has been so terrible so far for me that it's like turned me off to the game. Like, I could see it maybe with two people having to render everything twice. Like, I could see the frame rate dropping pretty bad to like low teens maybe. I haven't tried it out yet, but yeah, if you just want to play that game, it's fun. It's super fun, man. But I've rambled on long enough. I wasn't expecting to talk that much, but when I start going about Breath of the Wild, it just kind of goes. So
When Ross is passionate enough, it flows.
when I'm passionate
It
enough,
flows forth.
I talk a lot, and I generally don't talk a lot. So yeah, I'll shut up now.
No, you're good.
Yes.
Do we want to take a? So real quick, I don't want to ignore chat because Russell had a question for us.
Yeah.
Before we get into Divinity talk, because we are going to talk Divinity Tuesdays.
Yep.
Russell wanted to know any upcoming games we're excited for. So do we want to kind of limit this to like in the next like month or two, or do we want to just talk year long?
Well, if this is a month or two, there really isn't much.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
it
what
would be
I'm gonna try and
fair.
pull up.
I use the
release
Game
list real
Informer
quick.
list. The Game
Yeah.
Informer list is usually pretty good. I was actually looking through when Russell first put that question in the chat. I actually started looking through, and it's like I was excited for Yakuza Like a Dragon to come to PS5, which just came out yesterday, but like I'm not really interested in it right now. Binding of Isaac Repentance comes out this month, Nat. End of the month, March 31st. But like looking through the list, the first thing I have any remote interest in is the new Pokemon Snap game in April.
Yeah,
The
same.
the footage they showed of that actually with the most recent. Oh, that's another quick thing we could talk about, the Pokemon Direct that happened. Pokemon Snap looks good, and it's what I wish Sword and Shield looked like. And then they announced the worst kept secret, which were the remakes of Diamond and Pearl that are coming out on Switch, which people are kind of polarized on the art style, because in the overworld they're like the character models are like chibi, and then in battle they're full models, which just reminds me of old school RPGs that did that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care because that's like all those games pre this one. They're all
Isn't that like how all the Pokemon games are? They're like
it's
little
only
pixel
jarring
version.
because they're 3D chibi model,
Yeah.
and they're like
But
really chibi. They're not even like kind of like big head with like with disproportionate small body. They're like everything shorted and like made weird. So
I suppose like going from Pokemon Sword and Shield to that, like Pokemon Sword and Shield, what your character looks like is what you're going to see in battle.
right.
And then you
It's
just go
it's
to
just kind of
back to
jarring
that.
if you're not used to it.
Yeah.
And then the biggest announcement, the most exciting one from that Pokemon Direct was Pokemon Legends Arceus, which is an open world Pokemon game set in the same region as Diamond and Pearl, but like hundreds of years in the past. So it's almost like feudal Japan, but it's like, and we don't know a whole lot. It's coming out early 2022, but like there's gameplay of them showing trainers like crouching in grass and just like throwing Pokeballs at Pokemon. So like, not exactly sure all the differences, but like that's the dramatic change that I've been wanting out of Pokemon. Like I liked Sword and Shield, but I'm bored of the formula at this point. So that game is exciting to me.
It's interesting to see how they're going to do it, because it's during a time before Pokemon trainers were calling themselves Pokemon trainers. So there's going to be essentially no gyms, no Elite Fours, really not much Pokemon trainers. So
yeah,
it's how will they take it?
Like the Pokeballs are wooden. Like that's how old this game is. That's how old the game is. But yeah, I'm super excited. And like they talk about how trainers have come from all over. So that's why the choice of the starters is between your boy Oshawott, and then you have Rowlet from Sword and Shield, the Leaf starter, and then you have, who was the fire starter? Was it Cyndaquil? I think.
Cyndaquil.
Yeah, like you have starters.
The
from
second
all
best
the
fire starter
generations.
after Charmander.
Pretty much.
Also,
So, like-
Typhlosion is the best name for a Pokemon in the game. Change my mind. You can't.
Right.
So like, yeah, it's gonna be like mixing and matching a lot of stuff, and it's
Blaziken might have the best name. That's kind of funny.
Typhlosion.
He's a blazing chicken.
He's a chicken.
He's a
that's on fire.
Typhlosion. He's a typhoon explosion.
Anyway,
He's devastating.
Uranium in chat is saying games with confirmed release dates, and all the games that I'm really interested in outside of Ratchet and Clank, which is June 11th, the Mario Golf game, which is in June.
We all need to get that.
Yes,
Yeah,
Mario Golf.
We're doing the
HalfGen
HalfGen
Invitationals.
Invitational.
Yeah,
The
we're doing that
HalfGen tour.
weekly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
weekly HalfGen tour. We need to figure out a day because we got Divinity Tuesdays, we got the podcast. Now we need to figure out, even if we don't do it weekly, if we do it at least monthly.
Finish Divinity. After Divinity, do the Mario.
We're gonna
Golf.
need to play a lot more Divinity.
With the pace we're going at Divinity, and with how focused we are on main story quests, we're not going to finish that game until I'm 40. I'm 29.
That's not true.
We're making some
That's not
pretty
true.
slow
We're
progress on that, I
making-
feel like.
But we're making progress.
Not
I
toward the end.
suppose.
It's just It's lateral progress,
but it's progress.
horizontal promotion.
I feel like we're so
It's kind of like a thin diagonal, you know?
we could get to where I was at before I stopped playing last time without even ever regearing. That's how strong I feel like we are comparative to
Yeah.
our enemies.
No, but yeah, I think now especially we are pretty decked out. So I think we will spend a lot less time gearing. This last one,
You know how strong we are? I feel like enemies that are meant to deter you to come back later, we just go and fight and then find a way to beat them up.
well, that's what we literally just did.
That's
right,
literally
Russell,
what I'm talking about.
Russell, we're gonna come back to your question. We're not done. But yeah, I mean that's literally what we did with like the scarecrow dudes. Like, God, we got our ass kicked by them so many times, and then we figured out how to eventually like pick them off one at a time, and then we just kicked their ass. Like that's our thing. Is we're finding really stupid ways to do what we want. Like Ross discovered the cheese this week. Last week, Tony and I discovered the cheese. We were using a ladder to disengage and re-engage into battle, and then we would still be at the front of the initiation, like the turn order. Initiative. Thank you. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you. Couldn't do it. So we'd be at the front of the initiative order, and then this week Ross figured out that if we just turn merchants into chickens, they'll run away, making them easier to pickpocket and murder. Also, we murder people now.
Yep, we're playing straight Paragon.
We've murdered everyone.
We wiped the whole village.
I said yesterday. We've murdered pretty much almost everyone we've met from beginning of the game till now.
We're chaotic.
And we're like still not in a good place level wise.
But save the dog before we murder everyone.
Yeah,
we saved the dog. The
there
dog is safe.
4 dogs in that village.
But we didn't kill any of them.
No, we did not.
And we left Nicholas alive, and Nicholas can feed him.
Yeah, no, Nicholas is good.
Nicholas
is good people.
Drunk
Nicholas and Glory. They're just chilling. They're just napping out back, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, we're hitting harder. We're like
we're hitting harder.
We're geared. We just need to level. I think that's our thing. It's like we just need to start just killing more shit, honestly.
The problem is we were only 1 level below the scarecrows, and they were destroying us still.
No,
yeah, I know, but levels make a huge difference in that game.
It's not just levels. I think those enemies are like really strong because that quest line is like a higher level quest, and it's I think they're there to deter you from messing with.
But that's the thing. Why put high level quests so early in the game? That's the problem. Like
to encourage you to get strong or to come back later. It's a skill check. It's to make you figure out, are you ready for what's to come? Yes or no. If you die, no.
In there, because if we wanted, you could teleport into the back of that house. I think we could have got put on that quest line, but I feel like we would have realized very early on that we are not at level to be doing that.
But the problem is we've killed a lot of people on the way. I can't imagine what people that have played the game like being good can do. Like they would not be close to what our level is.
No, because you get
and we still struggle
on a lot of levels that we could be getting from completing quests.
Yeah.
So I feel like
that's what we should do. We should start completing more quests.
And then we murder everyone.
We're gonna hit a ceiling where we might be a little lower level than we need to be because we missed out on 4 or 5 story quests that would have given us like 10,000 XP.
Listen, they shouldn't have such good stuff on them, all right?
I mean, I don't care. I'm just telling you, you know.
we should make this next session like we'll do Nat's story thing, and then we should just go complete a bunch of quests that we can do. Like we should try and do the Riker thing so we can get the
I think I may have screwed that up by killing that lady.
With the spider?
Is this a spider? I don't know, because she apparently was supposed to help us on our road to divinity, and now she's dead. So
yeah, but we still have Riker. We're fine. We can do the thing for him.
Yeah, when I checked,
as long as he doesn't know that we killed his spider.
Was that?
That was in. Remember, that was on the 2nd floor of his house.
That was like 2 or 3. Oh yeah, that's right. We killed that spider.
Yeah, we killed that spider. We killed it dead.
We did.
Call us raid. We killed bugs dead.
Lit it on fire.
We gave him a favor by exterminating his issue.
I literally tried to burn the house down.
You did. You did try to burn the
Seemed
house
like
down.
he was having a problem that he didn't want to come forward with and seek help, and we solved.
And then Nat kept stealing his chair. Was it Nat or was it
It was
Tony?
it was no, I don't.
Okay. Nat kept taking his chair and moving it.
And then he trip and fall.
I look forward every week to playing more Divinity.
Yeah, it's honestly the one thing I look forward to most in the weeks. Play Divinity. It's fun.
Yeah, I'm
It's a
having an
nice
increasingly
time.
good time with that. Pretty much whatever we're doing. This last week was fun just because like we did a bunch of shit we probably wouldn't normally do. We're just like, well, let's just kill all these people, I guess.
Hey, we're just gonna steal all your
We're
stuff,
just-
and
we're just a
you
scourge
found me
now.
out. Oh, you're
You figured
dead
me
now.
out. Well, now you have to die. And then Nat's just running around. Mine. Nat's picking up anything not nailed down. And he's like, I'll sell it to the next town. Fuck it.
Y'all ain't using it anymore. Tell it to the next time. I mean, we still have probably like half the town still left alive we can sell to now. So
Yeah.
hopefully. Otherwise, it might be a while before we hit the next town. Who knows?
Yeah.
Ross, I thought of a game that we are excited for.
Yes.
March 26th. It Takes Two,
Oh yeah.
which I've
Yeah, the
heard
Joseph
really good
Fares
things
game.
about.
Yeah, I'm excited to
play
play
that.
that. Yeah. Yep. I'm
Make
down.
time. Make time.
Is that a sequel
We're
to
gonna
Army
do
of
it.
Two?
Huh?
Is that a sequel to Army of Two?
No.
Oh, man,
I have that installed on my Series S.
Do you?
Yep. I want to play
Perfect.
it. No, it's the next Joseph Fares game. The guy who did
A Way Out.
A Way Out. Thank you.
Really?
And,
That's-
and Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons.
Yes.
Mhm.
So I'm actually looking forward to playing that because I hear really good things about it. That's coming out that I'm kind of excited for. April's kind of a weird month. I'm kind of interested in Mankind, but we'll see what that turns into. May is a pretty good looking month. Resident Evil Village, Mass Effect Legendary Edition is one of the games I'm most hyped for this year.
Yep.
I cannot wait to play that.
And Chris and I both pre-ordered the stupid collector's edition with the full-size wearable.
That doesn't
helmet.
even come with the fucking game.
Oh, does it
but
just
it
come with a
comes with a-
download code?
What?
Does it just come with a download code?
No, it doesn't include the game.
Wait, what?
Rod, yeah, it does not include the game. It's just the stuff.
What?
That's what we bought. Is the wearable
Wait.
Shepherd helmet
It doesn't make
and the
any
other stuff. It does not include
That
any
makes
version of
zero.
the game.
What?
Gotcha.
That doesn't make any sense.
They're just selling it as stuff, you know?
Huh.
But no, it does not include the game.
Interesting.
Are
Keep
you
going.
Are you having second thoughts now?
It just doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah. I don't. What?
Yeah.
Well, they're doing it that way because then they can sell that stuff, and then they don't need to worry about having like a copy of the game ready or something because that stuff's going to take way longer. It's just logistically makes more sense to save all the gear and do it later, and then just have people buy their own bring their own copy of the game.
Weird.
I know because it comes with the steelbook, I think, but no, there's no game included.
Huh. Well, learn something
All
new.
display paraphernalia. But yeah, that Deathloop, I know you're kind of into that, Ross, and I'm kind of into that, and I'm just tired of seeing it and ready to play it.
I get less into it the more times I see trailers, which it seems to be like every other day.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so those are games that I'm kind of, and then Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, and then the Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade DLC. Yeah, I just have some of the bigger ones up. Mario Golf, like we said. I'm excited for Skyward Sword HD because there's no motion controls, or you don't have to use them. No More Heroes 3 is a big game for Switch that comes out August 27th. And then there's more like release window ones, like the Diamond and Pearl remakes, or like Halo Infinite.
Ross, did
or-
you know apparently there's a Panzer Dragoon VR game?
Yeah, I saw
Coming.
that too.
Yeah,
I
I did hear about that.
never heard that. I knew they were
Yeah,
doing like a remake or something, weren't they?
yeah, they did a remake of the first game.
Yeah, I didn't know they
But
were getting a VR of it.
yeah, there's some Panzer Dragoon VR thing. Yeah. And then I'm excited for Horizon Forbidden West, and I genuinely don't think God of War Ragnarok's coming out this year, but
No,
it's still technically listed as a 2021 game. So,
it's not. It's
yep.
definitely not. I really hope Halo Infinite is good.
Uranium, I'm not excited about the Mistwalker game.
Everyone
It's
hopes it's
exclusive
going to
for
be good
mobile.
because that's it for Halo. If it's not,
Yep.
Ooh, Evil Genius 2 is coming out soon, Russell. I need to buy that. I want to play that.
yeah, I don't know if I have any games that are confirmed releases that I look forward to, but unconfirmed releases is usually like Earth Defense Force 6. That's going to be fun. Didn't think they would make another one, but hey, mindlessly
EDF.
destroying cities and bugs. It's always fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's also the Fantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis,
Right.
which is going to be really interesting. And hopefully not. I haven't really been playing too much of Fantasy Star Online 2, even though I said I would, because I think it was because they're bringing out 8 years of content in 1 year, and I'm just like burning out because you get good gear, and then a couple months that gear is just obsolete, and I
Yeah.
just stopped playing because of that. And I'm just waiting for a new Genesis at this point.
I was kind of interested. I mentioned Village Uranium. I was interested in playing that, and then they announced New Genesis, and I was like, I'm just gonna wait for that.
Yeah,
That was
because
their
none of the
mistake,
gear
was announcing
carries
that.
over. Yep, and then
Not all of it
that's
carries over. Some of it does, apparently.
no, none of it's going to carry over because it's just a different thing. You
Oh.
basically start over. Your character is going to carry over, and maybe cosmetic stuff, but that's pretty much it. It's an entirely new game.
Well, that's what I meant. Like some of your bought items.
Yeah,
Um,
I would hope my fucking cosmetic stuff. that it
apparently not
comes
all of
over.
it though.
Yeah, not all of it, but hopefully enough of it.
You guys
I
want
made
to?
the mistake of making a male character, so I won't even have any good cosmetics because it's very heavily geared towards female characters. Because Japan.
Restart.
Guys, let's run down a couple stories from this week. Do we want to go over the state of play?
No.
Okay.
Do we?
No.
'Cause I didn't.
One thing I do want to touch on that I do think is important. Final Fantasy VII Remake is part of PlayStation Plus this month.
I was going to bring that up with the March games for PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live Gold.
But an important thing to touch on,
Yes.
it does not include the upgrade to PS5.
Yes.
So if you are looking to get the free PS5 update to integrate, you have to buy it. You have to buy Final Fantasy
Really?
VII on
That's-
remake.
Otherwise,
Yes.
Otherwise, if you have a PS5 and download the PlayStation Plus remake, Final Fantasy VII remake, it is just the PS4 version and will not get will not be upgraded. So,
And I don't think it has access to like the Yuffie content and stuff like that. I think that is a PS5 exclusive, as far as I'm aware. Exclusive to Intergrade,
I think you're right. Yeah. So,
which is kind of a weird decision, but
yeah,
I-
a lame decision considering they know. That's probably why they're pushing it out. They know that the PS5 stuff is going to come, and then they can't have access to it, so they want you to taste it and then buy the
I would say
PS5 because you want the
sidebar.
better frame rate.
I feel
and
like
everything.
most people would want a PS5, but no, like it's so hard to fucking get one.
yeah.
I feel like most people would want a PS5. You would
Yeah.
get one if they could.
I
but
don't.
It's so hard to get.
well, I think Intergrade will be
I mean,
coming
I feel like I'm
out
talking
when
about the people who have a PlayStation
Yeah.
4 with
Yeah.
PlayStation.
I do have a PlayStation 4 though. But
I
don't
think
want the PS5.
they're supposed to get better around that time. Excuse me, in terms of availability, at least if you listen to like Phil Spencer, he thinks the Xbox will be better around that time, and I would imagine Sony would have a similar situation. But Ross, do you want to talk about Studio Japan?
Yeah, Studio Japan, creators of games such as Gravity Rush and Knack. Sony's shutting them down after so many years. I think they were founded in like '95 or something. And studio's closing its doors. It's super sad, man. Um, they've put out some really good games, but I guess you know, a pandemic and the economy and their games haven't necessarily always been the biggest sellers. So yeah, it's sad. A long time Sony studio shutting down. So
I think if Sony did a little more to try and market them, I think Sony saw them as a little too niche. I think there's definitely a lot of potential for their games if they get like. I think a game like that needs a little more advertising. You know, I think it's a mistake. I think Studio Japan offers a lot of creativity, and there's an audience that there's a demand for that type of game that they make. I think it's a mistake that they're doing what they're doing, and kind of taking that studio and turning it into an Astrobot factory. But
well, that's Team Asobi. That's a different developer.
well, yeah, but they're realigning it to
Yeah.
yeah. So they're realigning Studio Japan. Like I like seeing that Studio Japan logo come up because anytime I see that, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm ready. Like when Studio Japan flashes on the screen, you're just like, oh shit. You sit up a little higher in your chair and you're like, all right, this game is going to be something.
Mm-hmm.
There is a distinction to their work that I respect, and I hope at a time where it seems like everybody's trying to acquire new studios and talent, I think it's a mistake to shutter one of the most well respected and longest running developers in the industry.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
I don't run Sony. Are you guys familiar with the Sinking City? I think we talked about it a little bit last year. This whole chaos going on with this Cthulhu game. So basically, it's this Lovecraft adventure game, The Sinking City. And last year, it's developed by Frogwares, and the publisher
It's like Nacron or something.
Nason, or
Nason.
yeah, I think it's Nason. Basically, they had a disagreement, and in their contract, Frogwares had the ability to kind of cancel out the deal and just kind of self-publish the game. So there was disagreements about like the publisher was like, "Hey, the developers like we hit all of our goals and we released the game on time," and the publisher said they didn't hit any of their goals, and now we want to take control of the franchise because Frogwares owns the franchise rights. And Nason tried to take them. It's a complicated legal thing, and it gets more complicated by the day. The game was eventually delisted. Patrick Klepek has a whole thing on Vice right now. Last Friday, the game came back on Steam, but apparently not with the consent of Frogwares, who are accusing the publisher. Hold on. Tweet from Frogwares. Frogwares has not created a version of the Sinking City, or has not created the version of the Sinking City that is today on sale on Steam. We do not recommend the purchase of this version. More news soon. They said that the publisher uploaded an illegal version of the game. This whole thing's a freaking mess.
Yeah, like the publisher, there's like stories going around that the publisher like hacked into Frogwares and to get like code and stuff and cobbled together a game to get it out on storefront. It's nuts.
So here's the statement from Nason in response. For the release of The Sinking City on Steam, published by Nason. I hope I'm saying that right. I still don't know. Frogwares posted on Twitter urging players not to buy it. We regret that Frogwares persists in disrupting the release of The Sinking City. It was Frogwares who came to Nason to request financing for the development of the game, and to date, more than 10 million euros have been paid to Frogwares by Nason. It was Frogwares that relied on our marketing and promotion teams, representing thousands of hours of work and several million euros worth of investment. Now that the game has been fully developed and published, largely thanks to Nason's money and work, Frogwares would like to revise the terms of the contract to their sole advantage. It's easy to play the victim. But all we seek is that Frogwares respect its commitments both in contract and as demanded by the courts. So apparently there was also a court thing where they said that Frogwares was not able to cancel the contract the way they did. I think it had to do with like bonus payouts. That's what it all came down to. They were supposed to get payments for hitting these deadlines. The publisher said they didn't. The developer insists they did. So there was withholding of money. Then there was withholding of the game. There was delisting, relisting, delisting. It's sold, from the developer directly. You can buy it from them, and then the publisher's trying to list it. It got pulled from like Sony and other platforms, but it's still on Xbox. It's a whole weird thing. It's all a mess. The game is still available on Steam.
I thought the developer filed a DMCA complaint and actually had it pulled.
Unless that changed, this article still says it's listed. I mean, there's an easy way to find out. Let's go to Steam.
Yeah, I was reading some stuff about this yesterday, and I think it was on GameSpot. I could be wrong.
You are correct. It is not listed anymore.
The developer posted a DMCA lawsuit violation against the publisher in order to get their own game pulled because it's not their game. It's the publisher's like hacked together version of it. So it's crazy. Never seen anything like this.
Yeah. And I see the hack. So the hackers didn't even care to use a different encryption key than the one we created when recompiling. We therefore opened the packages and identified immediately that the config files are in the config files, the version that was stolen and hacked. They said that their key works to open up the files. Like they used their own keys to access the files that Nason put out that they insist are different, but they can access it with all their own internal stuff. So it's obviously the same information. It's the same file, basically, because both parties can open it the same way. When Frogwares downloaded the new version on Steam, their encryption key still worked. This is insane. I don't think I've ever heard a story quite this level of crazy in video games. And it sounds wrong, but it's kind of like the car crash scenario. And I'm really interested to see how this plays out because it's insane, right? Like I have never seen a developer and publisher fight this openly and this kind of like brazenly with each other over a game that, with all due respect to everyone involved, had a probably limited market value to begin with, a limited appeal. You're targeting a niche audience already, and then you're just kind of making that niche audience suffer a little bit. The whole thing is a mess. I can't think of anything else like it. Speaking of development, I don't know if this is necessarily a mess, but remember last week we talked about EA, how they were putting the power into their developers to proceed with their franchises?
Mm-hmm.
That power only extends until Battlefield 6 needs some help, and then Criterion is pulled from Need for Speed to help them. So they announced this week that Criterion, they're going to delay the next Need for Speed by a year to have Criterion help get Battlefield 6 over the finish line. Which, fair enough, but I just find it very contradictory to the statements they made last week where they're like, we're putting the power in the hands of our developers to make what they think they need to make,
We better be
and
able
then
to
just
drift
be like,
our
hey,
fucking tanks. Forgot.
Tankio drift.
Hell yeah.
I mean, this one is supposed to be, I think, another modern setting Battlefield.
Yeah, I'm kind
excited.
of tired of the whole World War II, World War I type of deal.
I'm excited if this game is good. I'm really excited. I want it to be good. I want the next Need for Speed to be good too, though. They released like
I've
that
enjoyed
one.
The last two.
We enjoyed Heat. I know you and Nat
The
played that.
Payback wasn't great.
No. Heat was like the only good one they released this generation. Which doesn't say a lot about the quality of Need for Speed games this generation. But Yeah, I just thought that was kind of a weird thing to see a week after they were empowering their developers.
I
Um,
don't. I think it's not weird whatsoever. It's EA. It makes total sense.
but when you put it like that, last piece of noteworthy news. Epic bought Mediatonic, makers of Fall Guys. They also got like whatever publishing they do and things like that. So it's bigger than just Fall Guys, but they now own the Fall Guys people. They said that right now they have no plans to pull the game from any platforms. But looking at what they did with Rocket League, it'll be interesting to see what they plan to do. Um, I think that's kind of crazy considering that Fall Guys is definitely not as popular a year later as it was when it kind of like took the world by storm. I wonder if maybe this is kind of selling high for them or Epic looking at kind of buying low and hoping that they can swing it back.
I think Fall Guys definitely had inflated numbers because of everybody being home. Because a match of Fall Guys definitely takes a while. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're committing to potentially 30 to 40 minutes of gameplay. You know what I mean? Not,
Yeah, like
I
the
mean,
game
maybe
was
30, 40 is a bit long, but you're committing to, if you make it to the end, 5 or 4, different game modes that some of them could take long depending on how long they're going. I know that like Fall Down one took forever. Like we had to like jump in the blocks below, use like ice block here or whatever.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Mhm.
about.
So yeah, there were some games that took forever, but it is what it is. I hope they successful. I hope this money was worth it to them, and I hope they can do whatever they want to do.
Yeah. I wish Fall Guys nothing but the most success they can achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Fall Guys is definitely like a fun game to watch. I'm not at all interested in playing it personally, but I would never wish them ill. I was honestly a little surprised when they announced the purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and this coming on the heels of Fall Guys coming to Xbox and Switch. We didn't talk about that last week, Ross, but they did also confirm it's coming to Xbox in addition to Switch. We talked after the direct last week.
Yeah.
So it's going to be everywhere, so that'll bring in a new wave of players who missed out the first time, and I think that'll be good for the game. And it'll just be interesting to see what Epic does, with what they know about Fortnite, with the success they had there. If they can continue to drive, if they can turn Fall Guys into, do they turn Fall Guys into a free to play game? Do they keep it the way it is and just keep driving it through like,
Mhm.
content releases for free or something? Like I want to know
I
what their
really need to
strategy
pee. I'm gonna
is.
be right back. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, no worries. I'm just interested to see what their strategy is for like, hey, what does Fall Guys become, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now?
Yeah, I guess I have very little interest in Fall Guys and its trajectory, but wish everyone on the team well.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just one of those like kind of explodey games, and some of those fizzle out so quickly. So I'm interested to see what Fall Guys can do to hang on.
Yeah,
That's the part that intrigues me, is what does this do for them?
right.
Because
Yeah,
so many of those games just fall off the face of the earth. They're popular today, gone tomorrow.
yep.
But yeah, I think that's. I don't want to ramp up till Nat gets back.
Well, I've there were some PSVR announcements today that I can run
Yes,
through.
and you have your gold and
Yes.
PlayStation Plus. Yes, I apologize.
So throughout the day today, PlayStation kind of dumped some new VR game announcements after recently announcing PSVR 2 last week. So the developers of Arizona Sunshine, a very popular, basically VR zombie game that actually has more story than you'd think. Co-op, I do want to play that at some point. But they are creating a game called After the Fall, which is kind of a FPS co-op, like fast-paced action game, a little different than Arizona Sunshine, which I'm excited for because Arizona Sunshine I've heard nothing but good things about. Um, then they announced that there is a JRPG inspired MMO coming to PSVR called Zenith. There's a trailer out for it. I'm kind of interested, to be honest. If you haven't yet, check out the trailer. It's ambitious. I'll be interested to see if it actually pans out. Um, the third announcement was a very popular VR kind of like single player game called I Expect You to Die, where you play kind of a cheesy like 60s James Bond, and you kind of go through scenarios. And I think some of it is like escape the room puzzles to an extent where uh, you're trying everything you can to get out and move on to the next part of the spy movie. And that's creeping.
I don't know if you meant to leave the door open, but yeah.
Yeah. And then a new action game called Fract is coming out this summer. It takes place like at a ski resort, so there's some VR skiing along with some like FPS gunplay of like people taking over the ski resort or something.
Is
Said
this
it's
like
kinda
the new kayak stealth game, but for PSVR?
maybe it's going to have PS5 enhancements, which are cool. They announced a new PSVR survival game called Song in the Smoke, and the biggest announcement was Doom 3 VR edition. So it's Doom 3, but just in VR, which is probably the Doom game you want in VR because it's spooky. um, so yeah, that actually is coming out March 29th. It's coming out this month. Um, so yeah, that's kind of
I wish I knew where the connections were for my PSVR because I
no
don't.
one knows. No one
I
knows.
don't know where they are.
Too many cables.
Too many cables.
So yeah, again, it's nice to see after the announcement of PSVR 2, continued support. PlayStation's done really well with that. And then to round off March's games, if you subscribe to Game Pass or PlayStation Plus, you get some games each month. This month for Game Pass, we have Nat's favorite game of all time coming to the cloud and console, NBA 2K21.
I just bought that shit. Wow.
Well, that's on Xbox. That's on Xbox.
That's on the console.
That's on console and basically like xCloud if you stream to your
Yeah.
phone.
Xbox. I mean, that's not bad. I guess I can. If it's is it the Xbox Series X one, or is it because they got to specify? Is it the one with
That's
Dame
true.
Lillard on the cover, or is it the one with Zion on the cover?
It's one with Dame Lillard. It's
Okay,
the
I mean that's not bad. Then I guess I can play with my friends finally on one of them. I could play.
yeah.
I guess I
So
can play with you on PS5.
yeah, I just thought I was just dead to you there for a second.
I was gonna say, it was just so. It was so. I was so befuddled by it. I was like, "What the fuck?"
So that comes out on Game Pass March 4th. Star Wars Squadrons is coming to console for Game Pass, which is exciting. And then NHL is a sports heavy month for Game Pass. NHL 21 coming to console, Madden 21 console, Football Manager 2021 Xbox Edition coming to console and PC, and then just Football Manager 2021 coming to PC. So it's Microsoft's. And then Sony has maybe one of, if not their strongest offerings ever with PlayStation Plus this month.
This is
As
a
we talked-
solid month.
As we talked about earlier, it's the PS4 version of Final Fantasy VII Remake.
And let me just say, even if it doesn't upgrade, don't skip this. If you have a PS4 and you have PlayStation Plus, you owe it to yourself to play this game.
It was
HalfGen's
Game of the Year.
2020 Game of the Year.
Yeah.
It wasn't for no reason.
Also, Remnant from the Ashes on PS4, which I'm excited to actually play.
Also exceptional. Play that fucking game.
Then Maquette for PS5, which is... Yep, go ahead.
I've heard that game is really good. That's a new game. I've heard that's really good. I'm going to install that.
Yeah, it's described as a first-person puzzler designed around like an MC Escher-esque simulation. I watched the trailer for it, and it looks super interesting. So I'm very excited for that. It's like you're in this kingdom, and you pick up a box, and then you walk over to like this play set, and it looks like a diorama, and then you have the box, and you drop the box, and then the box drops outside of the castle. So it's like this Inception type of deal.
Apparently, there's also like a love story or something.
Huh. I'm
Yeah.
very excited for this game. But that's the PlayStation Blog specifically lists that as the PS5 version. It is coming out on PS4, but it seems like the PS5 version is what will be on PlayStation Plus. And then lastly is the reason the PSVR aim controller exists. Farpoint, one of the most well-received PSVR games. It's a sci-fi co-op, if you want to play it that way, story-based game where you're, I think, on Mars. You're in space. You're on some planet, and there's alien bugs and stuff. And there's apparently a very good story with it as well.
Space bugs.
Yep. So that's available, and then still available this month is Destruction All Stars for PS5. They did recently announce that once it's off of PlayStation Plus, instead of costing $70 that they originally said it would, it will cost $20.
That's a much better price for what that game is, and I could
Yes,
actually tell people that's probably worth it.
Yep. So yeah,
They should really just go free to play with that.
Breaking
Breaking
news.
news. Ross is about
Bloomberg
to-
report. Bloomberg report. We were just talking about it earlier. New Switch. Okay. Bloomberg report that Nintendo is now they have a new, so it has been clarified that there is a new model of Switch coming that will have an OLED screen made by Samsung. It will be 7 inches across and will feature a 720p resolution. OLED is both less power consuming and more vibrant colors than the traditional backlit LCD. So
What's on the
even
inside? That's what matters.
even if this isn't, so there's nothing saying that this is definitely, but here's the thing. According to the Bloomberg report, it's supposed to be ready to ship by holiday this year. So, hoping larger touchscreen can prop up demand in time for the holidays. So they're trying to ship at holiday this year. So it's a 7-inch 720p OLED. That's really good. Anybody who has a first generation Vita knows how nice those OLEDs can be because they are.
Nice.
So that's going to help battery life in a huge way. Plus, Nintendo is also not restricted by the chip shortage that's impacting AMD and like NVIDIA's new GPUs. If they're using just an enhanced version of their older GPU, that architecture is very mature, very easy to produce at this point. So they could probably, all the rumors point to a new Switch, like Pro kind of thing, including power in the dock. And that's what would make it like 4K or something. So you would have like a bigger chip. You basically just start making things work in tandem to produce more performance. So they could just make a Switch that performs maybe a little bit better and has an OLED in handheld mode, but maybe when you dock it is where the real performance gains are going to come from, which I would be totally okay with. But it sounds like with everything, this is happening this year. I don't know if it's a Switch Pro. I don't know what it is, but it sounds like there's going to be a Switch with an OLED screen this year.
Interesting. Knowing
And
them,
this-
they will
What
start
if they call it the Switch U?
stop?
The Switch up.
They're going to call it the new Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, we missed this right at the start, but yeah, this ran 7:28 p.m. today.
Gotcha.
So this was about 2.5 hours ago as of this recording.
Seen that article. I also seen Verge and somebody else put up articles about it because I looked at it.
Yeah,
as
I
soon
just
as you
caught
said
it from a Kotaku post, but I read the Bloomberg.
Mhm.
It was not even Jason Schreier this time. Bloomberg has got they've
Yeah.
got the sources.
there we
But
go.
yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there because we were just talking about it earlier.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that is that going to be my third Switch? I would buy a Switch with an OLED screen.
Yep, that'll
I'll
be your
trade in this one. I'll trade in both of them. Screw it. Once I can have an OLED screen, that's all I need. Oh man, but yeah, so that'll do it. No more breaking news right now. Anybody got anything else before we finish wrapping this up.
I think that's it.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna keep playing Age of Calamity. I'm gonna, depending on how long it takes me to finish, something will go up on the site at some point about that, and then Nat at some point we should play 2K,
You should. Are you playing My Player or are you just playing regular games?
just regular games.
We could play a quick play tonight if you want.
Probably
quick
can't
match.
tonight. The wife has already been yelling at me over text about coming out to eat dinner at some point
Oh,
before
good.
bedtime. So
I am very hungry as well. I was gonna say if you want to play tonight, I just need to
I'm
eat
actually
food
also
first.
hungry.
yeah, I'm gonna go eat dinner and then. But I'm around this weekend, so.
Cypher, what about you?
What?
What about you, pal?
I don't know. Really, nothing else going on. We
I
should.
feel that.
I want to play more VR. We should find some VR to
We
play.
should play some more VR at some point.
Like,
Yeah.
there's really not much co-op VR. Like, there's a lot of multiplayer VR.
Well, there's
If
a couple
there's-
co-op
and
things.
if
We bought
there's
that
co-op,
Pulsar
it's like-
game.
Yeah,
Right. We still need to play that.
yeah, and a lot of the co-op stuff is just like 2-player. If they announce
Yeah.
a Bridge Crew 2, easiest day one purchase of my life.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Or we could just play some more Bridge Crew and do some of the
We could
procedure.
do the Borg
Well-
stuff.
Pulsar is pretty much kind of like Bridge Crew.
I want to be the captain. I just want to be like Mr. Orlando. Get us out of here. Well, no, it's Mr. Patches. Get us out of here. Mr. Orlando, get those people on this ship now.
Well,
Fire! Fire!
Drop the shields and get those people in here now. We have to go.
Yeah.
All
Well,
I know
your
is
name,
I'm gonna
your
be
name
the
just
pew
said
pew.
VR chat, so I think we should end it right now.
Oh no.
Yeah. Exciting news for anybody who is watching YouTube. I'm saying this now to hold Ross accountable. He'll do it. We are going to try and record some new stuff that isn't. We're going to record some more romps. Maybe we're going to do one for the Series S. We're going to do one, I believe, for the Outriders demo, and then we might try and do something else. So there will be hopefully some video content going up this week in addition to the podcast. If you guys feel like anything sounded different, better, worse, look different, better or worse this week, we're trying a different way that we record this week for everything. Let us know how it is. But otherwise, we love you guys. Thank you so much. Why did that just say type something?
I don't
Yeah, I
know.
saw that too.
If anyone has any ideas or suggestions about maybe video content you'd like to see from us, feel free to tweet at official HalfGen, and we are taking everything into consideration at this point.
Yes.
So
Yeah, anything is on the table right now. But thank you guys, and we'll catch you next week. Take it easy. Bye-bye.